Friday night TV felt like snacks for the soul. TGIF jingles, microwaved pizza rolls, and the glow of a living room where anything could be funny. Then a blue-collar megalosaurus dad in flannel walked in. The baby bonked him with a frying pan, and every kid asked the same thing. What am I watching? And why is it perfect? Under the foam and rubber, Dinosaurs was a sneaky masterclass, puppetry fused with satire and heart. Tonight, we're taking a 10-layer bite into why it still rules, the Henson dream that birthed it, the animatronic wizardry, the sharp social teeth, the finale that froze us all, and more. Expect fast, juicy mini-stories, some, wait, what? Revelations, and a joyride of snack bar nostalgia. If the 80s and 90s are your happy place, tap subscribe. Let's dive in. Number 10. Jim Henson's Final Big Dream. Before it was a Friday night fixture, Dinosaurs was an idea Jim Henson carried around like a pocket spark. He wanted a primetime sitcom with full-bodied creatures. Not hand puppets behind a counter, but head-to-toe performances that breathed, blinked, and rolled their eyes like human actors. After Henson's passing in 1990, Brian Henson and producer Michael Jacobs pressed the vision forward with ABC, and by spring of the early 90s, the Sinclair family had hatched onto TGIF. The show presented like a kid's comedy, yet wrote like a Trojan horse. The rhythms were classic family sitcom. Dad at work, mom's patience of steel, kids testing the rules. But inside those beats lived commentary on consumerism, denial, and media culture. That contradiction, cuddly surface, sharp interior, is the core reason Dinosaurs still lands today. It didn't just wink, it told the truth with a foam latex smile. Network TV in that era rarely gambled on expensive creature work, which is why Dinosaurs feels like it landed from a braver timeline. The pitch worked because it promised two shows at once, a comfort sitcom ABC could schedule and a technical showcase that would turn heads at awards shows. The result is a time capsule of ambition. Every cutaway to WeSaySo, every family beat at the Sinclair dinner table is also a flex. Look what you can do when you put artists first and trust the audience to follow. Quick pit stop. If that origin story lit up your nostalgia, tap subscribe and ring the bell. We're about to crack open Animatronics, Satire, and the finale that gave your childhood a snow day forever. Number 9. The baby was a rock star and a science project. Kevin Clash voiced and performed the tiny tyrant who stole every scene with two catchphrases. I'm the baby, gotta love me, and not the mama. The genius wasn't just the lines, it was the timing. Watch the eyes lock, the brows bounce, the lip quiver. You're seeing a team synchronize like a band. A body performer powered the arms and posture while facial servos, radio controlled by off-camera puppeteers, delivered micro-expressions on beat. Clash's comedic rhythm turned the baby from prop to person, and the writing weaponized it. Give the smallest Sinclair the most power, and you've got instant comedy. A toddler who treats dad like a chew toy and somehow remains adorable. Playground culture did the rest. Those catchphrases became recess currency for an entire decade. Tiny details sell the life. Watch the pupils track with a beat of anticipation before a punchline. That micro delay is the difference between puppet and performer. And because the baby could play big without uncanny valley, the writers got licensed to push farther. Slapstick that would be cruel with humans reads gleeful and safe here. A cartoon logic made tactile. Number 8. Space-age suits, sweat, and synchrony. Earl Sinclair didn't exist without a squad. Inside the foam latex suit, a body performer found the weight, the slouch, and the dad-bod gait. Overhead, puppeteers drove radio-controlled servos that moved lids, brows, cheeks, and lips. Facial choreography, timed to syllables. That's why Earl can do tiny reactions, the skeptical blink, the guilty half-smile, that feel more human than many live-action shows. Young Bill Beretta, who would later become a core Muppet performer, was one of the talents inside those suits, learning how to sweat, hit marks, and sell a punchline while wearing a Cretaceous sauna. The result wasn't a costume. It was a living performance built by multiple artists at once. On screen, it reads as effortless. On set, it was a cardio workout married to micro-engineering. Those heads weren't static masks. Swappable brow pieces, eyelids, and beaks let the team tune expressions like lighting. A half-millimeter change could shift a moment from smug to sheepish. Body language carried as much meaning as the faces. Earl's shoulders sag after a bad day. Fran's spine straightens when a boundary gets crossed. It's clowning filtered through engineering. Precise, readable, and warm. Number 7. Satire with bite marks. Beneath the gags, Dinosaurs roasted the world we were actually living in. Mr. Richfield, Earl's boss at WeSaySo, is fossil fuel capitalism in a tie. The company sells disposable logs because permanence doesn't turn a quarterly profit. Charlene's beat obsessions lampoon trend chasing. Robbie's phases poke at teen identity panics. And the in-universe newscaster Howard Handupme smiles through catastrophe like the evening news. Jokes about environmental denial land even harder now. The family literally knocks the ecosystem out of balance in pursuit of convenience. It's the Henson trick at full power. Use a puppet to slip a difficult truth past our defenses, then hug the audience on the way out. Episodes didn't sermonize, they personalized. Earl isn't a villain. He's a tired worker trying to keep his job in a system that rewards looking away. That's why the critiques land without scolding. We see ourselves in the excuses. Even the show's fake commercials punch upward. WeSaySo adds sparkle while selling nonsense, a perfect parody of how marketing can make anything feel necessary if the jingle slaps hard enough. Number 6. The Price of Magic and Why It Was Worth It. Animating faces at broadcast speed isn't cheap. The Creature Shop had to keep multiple versions of each head in fighting shape. Skins repaired, servos serviced, paint refreshed, so the cameras could push in without revealing seams. Each scene with multiple Sinclairs meant multiple teams syncing breaths, blinks, and beats, so the family felt alive together. As time slots shifted and budgets squeezed, the craft never blinked. Freeze frame any late-run episode and you'll see pores, tooth texture, and the sleepy glassiness of a parent at the end of a long day. It was artisanal work executed on an industrial schedule, and it bought the show something priceless: credibility. You believed these were people, and that made the jokes and the heartbreak land. Crew interviews from the time talk about servo nights, late sessions spent rebalancing facial rigs so dialogue would sync the next morning. It's blue-collar artistry, sweat, tools, and pride. All that effort bought creative freedom. When a puppet can hold a close-up, writers can write smaller. A glance becomes a joke, a blink becomes a confession. That intimacy is rare in big-suit television. Number 5. World building so specific it hurts. Pangaea wasn't a generic rock with houses. It was a culture with brands, rituals, and logic so dumb it felt true. TV anchors like Howard Handupme, a WeSaySo corporation that makes logs you inexplicably need, an elder-tossing tradition that literalizes ageism. Every corner of the Sinclair world carried a joke with teeth. Even the fridge magnets and knickknacks helped the satire. Products exist because ads tell you they do. And the family buys because that's what families on TV do. It's the Flintstones by way of SNL, a fake universe that mirrors ours with just enough distance to make the punchlines sting. Rewatch now and you'll spot background gags you missed as a kid, the kind that make you pause, point, and say, "Okay, that's savage." The show is ruthless about media literacy. News is entertainment, ads are gospel, and families are trained to buy before they think, all wrapped in gags so breezy you don't notice the knife until it glints. Holiday episodes double as anthropology. Rituals that look absurd from the outside make perfect sense inside the culture, which is exactly how our own holidays work. The mirror stings, then it makes you laugh. Mid-roll check-in, drop your favorite Dinosaurs line in the comments. Was it "Not the Mama" or Fran's legendary Earl? Hit like, too. It tells the algorithm to keep the fossils coming. Number 4, a theme that struts, then smiles. Composer Bruce Broughton wrote an opening that walks in like it owns Friday night, an action movie swagger that slides into family sitcom bounce. It announces a show that can smash cut from factory slapstick to living room heart and make both feel inevitable. You didn't skip this intro. You vibed to it while the baby warmed up his frying pan arm. That musical confidence gives Dinosaurs its tone, big, bold, and secretly tender. Listen for the percussion under the melody. It's a confident stomp that says "Big World," then the harmony softens into "Welcome Home." That duality is the series in miniature. End credit music keeps the mood buoyant after heavy episodes, a musical hand on your shoulder reminding you the Sinclairs are still a family, even when the jokes cut close. Number 3, the cast beneath the foam. Stuart Pankin gives Earl a bass note of blue-collar bluster. Jessica Walter threads Fran's kindness with steel, so she never reads soft. Sally Struthers turns Charlene's vanity into jokes with heart, and Jason Willinger balances Robbie's earnestness with just enough rebellion. Layer Kevin Clash's baby on top, plus the ensemble of puppeteers, voice actors, and body performers you never see, and you get a family whose timing is as precise as the animatronics. That's why a single line, "Wasp, Fran's weary Earl," or the baby's weaponized "not the mama," can still crack you up on muscle memory. Voice and body weren't interchangeable. They were partnerships. A wry eyebrow from the facial team asked for a micropause in the voice, and the actors learned to hear those invisible cues. Guest voices brought sparkle too, but the core ensemble sells the family illusion. You can diagram the rhythm like a drum kit. Earl the kick, Fran the snare, Charlene the hi-hat, Robbie the fill and the baby, the crash cymbal that stops the room. Number 2, that finale. Yes, that one. Changing Nature is the rare network sitcom ending that stares straight at consequences. A running gag, the company wrecking the environment for profit, escalates into an extinction-level winter. The newscaster signs off as snow piles up outside the Sinclair's window. Earl apologizes for helping cause something too big to fix. Baby asks what happens next, and Earl can't answer. Then the picture lingers and fades. For a show that could do frying pan slapstick, choosing to end with a whisper took courage. It felt shocking at the time. It feels prescient now. The episode is more than a finale. It's a parable about grown-ups making a mess and families holding each other anyway. Kids who watched it live remember the silence afterward, a rare moment when a sitcom asked for reflection, not applause. Teachers talked about it in classrooms. Parents fielded big questions at the sink. Revisiting it now, you notice the restraint. No villain monologue, no easy fix, just accountability and care. It treats the audience like grown-ups, even if the audience was 8. Number 1, the secret, empathy under the scales. The reason Dinosaurs lasts isn't just technical wizardry or spicy satire. It's empathy. Earl is a doofus trying to be decent in a system designed to make him numb. Fran carries the load with grace because somebody has to. Robbie and Charlene test the boundaries the way teens always do, and the baby learns that love is louder than a catchphrase. Under the foam latex are writers who believe that if you make people laugh, you earn the right to tell them something true. That's the magic trick you felt without naming it. Puppets with human hearts, asking us to do a little better. Empathy also explains the show's rewatch power. The jokes age well because the people inside them are written with love, even when they're wrong. You root for Earl to do better, because the show does. That's the Henson inheritance. Craft in the service of kindness. Make it beautiful, make it funny, and use that goodwill to say something that matters. If it's been years since you visited the Sinclairs, give it another spin. The craft glows in close-ups, the jokes land in layers, and the finale still whispers in the back of your mind after the credits fade. Dinosaurs didn't just parody our world. It invited us to care about it. That's why the baby's catchphrases are fun, and why Earl's apology lingers. So tell us, which of these Dinosaurs moments blew your mind the most? Right now, you feel all fuzzy and nostalgic, yeah. For this feeling to last forever, you have to hit the like and subscribe button. Because with Box Set and Chill, the 80s and 90s never end.